everyone, this is Ashley with Marshflower Studio. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this cute little candy corn, because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. So there are lots of different patterns that I love to make with Halloween coming up. If you just really love candy corn, you can definitely make these year-round. If you enjoy the video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you can see other videos that I make. And feel free to pop any requests down in those comments, and I will see if I can get to those. All right, so to make this little candy corn, I've got 3 different colors of just worsted weight yarn. This first candy corn I made with my 5mm hook. The next one though, I'm going to make with a 4mm hook just to kind of see the size difference. Because I typically make these for keychains, zipper pulls, that kind of thing. So having them be a little bit smaller is going to be a good thing for this. So I'm going to set my 5 to the side. To begin with, we're going to start with our white at the top. And we're going to do 6 single crochets in our magic circle. You could do this with any color if you want to do something other than a traditional candy corn coloring here. So we're going to have our 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our next row is going to be a single crochet and increase, so we'll end up with 9 stitches when we're done with this row. So I'm going to do 1 and 2 in this first stitch, and then do 3 and 4 and 5 together, and then 6, do 7 and 8 together, and then 9. Okay, for our third row, we're going to have 2 single crochets and then an increase, so you'll end up with 12 stitches at the end of the row. So I'm going to have my increase 1 and 2, and then 3, 4. We'll do 5 and 6 together, 7, 8, 9 and 10 together, and then 11, oops, and 12. All right, our next row is just going to be 12 single crochets, and then we'll change color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And make sure this center of my magic ring is nice and tight here. And then, because the number of stitches doesn't really matter in this pattern, you don't have to kind of try to pre-plan for color changes. As long as you kind of make sure that you keep them in the same spot, it's okay. So I'm going to do my slip stitch with my white here, and then I'm going to go under the loop again, or under the next stitch, and I'm going to pull up my yellow, my second color. Pull that through into a slip stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my white yarn, and I like to tie the end of my new yarn to the end of my old yarn. All right, so then we'll do another slip stitch, and this row is 3 single crochets and an increase, so this will count as a stitch for this row. So 1, 2, and 3, with 4 and 5 together, 6, 7, 8, with 9 and 10 together, and then 11, 12, 13, with 14 and 15 together. All right, our next row is going to be 4 single crochets and an increase, and because I like to kind of stagger where my increases are, I'm going to start with 2 single crochets and then go ahead and do one of my increases. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4 with an increase. We'll do 5, 6, 7, 8 with an increase. And then I have to finish the other 2 from where I started with 2 at the beginning. Okay, so that gives us our 3 sets there. Our next row will be 18 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and I'm going to go ahead and do my slip stitch and then do my color change. So this would be stitch 18 right here for this row, but it's okay. All right, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly to the numbers. As long as you're getting the right number of increases in each row, it's all right. So I cut my yellow. I'm going to tie my 2 ends together here. In this row, we are going to have 5 single crochets and then an increase. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an increase, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 with an increase. Okay, our next row is going to be a row of 6 single crochets and then our increase. And again, I'm going to stagger my start. So I'm going to have 3 single crochets and then my first increase, and then I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and increase, and then the last 3 to finish off that first set. Okay, after that row we're going to have 24 single crochets all the way around. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. At this point we are almost finished. So one of the things I'm going to take just a second to do, I'm going to pull my tiny tornado toddlers, providing some background noise for me. I'm going to take some stuffing and kind of hold my tails out of the way and put that stuffing down in the very tip of that white part. And I do that because if you've ever worked with white and a color before, if you just stuff your yarn tails down in there, you'll be able to see some of that color showing through. So I'm going to put some stuffing in there first and then kind of tuck my tails so that they're out of the way. In our next row, we're going to be doing back loop only all the way around, and it's going to be a decrease row to where we go down to 18. Whenever I do front loop only or back loop only, I always do a slip stitch first that goes through both, and I feel like it kind of makes that transition a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to do 1 and 2 in the back loops, and then I'm going to do a decrease, and that'll be 3. And then 4 and 5 in the back loops, and we'll do 6 as a decrease, also in the back loops. We'll do 7 to 8, and then 9 as our decrease, 10 and 11, 12 is our decrease, 13, 14, 15 is our decrease, 16, 17, and then 18 as our decrease. And it doesn't look like we've done much at this point as far as changing the shape, but you'll see how that works in just a second. So our next row is going to be a single crochet and a decrease, regular stitches through both loops. So we'll have 12 stitches at the end. So 1, decrease on 2, 3, we'll decrease on 4, 5, decrease on 6, 7, decrease on 8, 9, decrease on 10, 11, and decrease on 12. So you can see this change right here is a little less dramatic than it can be if you just go straight from single crochets to slip stitches or back loop only. Kind of makes it a little less of a whoa, what happened there kind of situation. So from here, you're going to pull out a little bit of yarn. I would say at most 12 inches. I'm going to do a slip stitch here to kind of finish that off. We're going to finish stuffing. Okay. And then with this last row of decreases, it really kind of pulled this bottom section in by itself. Kind of tucks it under there. And I'm actually going to turn this so that the slip stitch that I just made is on the side of this hole. I'm going to kind of flatten it a little bit. Okay, this is how we kind of create that oval shape for the bottom of this candy corn. So I'm going to thread my needle, my yarn needle here, and I'm going to do the outside loops, technically the front loop, and go through both sides. We'll come over, do the same thing all the way down. The outside loops. It'll kind of turn those stitches to face each other into the inside. And we'll go through this top part. Oh, we'll go from this side. Because those are two technically stitches still at the end of that part up there. So you don't want to pull this crazy tight because you don't want it to cinch your candy corn in. But make sure it's snug, that your bottom of your candy corn isn't going to come open. If you they want to be part of the video, you could leave this as an open circle and actually put candy corn down in here as a little treat. I would recommend putting some kind of, little baggie or something in there as well with it, so that you don't end up with candy stuck to the inside of this. It'd be a little hard to clean. But after this part, we'll take our yarn, we'll stick it up through the side somewhere, and then weave in our ends. Let's see. Just gonna do a couple right through here. And you could certainly add some little eyes, a nose, mouth to your candy corn to make them a little bit more fun. And you can, of course, do any colors that you would like to do if you want. Darker yellows, darker oranges. So that is our little candy corns. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.